and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about my top favourite shows of 2017. 2017 was a good show. Good show. Jolly good show. It was a good year for TV shows and I watched so much Netflix and spent so much time inside my house, inside my bedroom, watching shows for pretty much all the year. So yes, I'm going to get into this. Okay, so the first show that I loved this year is Jane the Virgin. Bearing in mind, I didn't actually start watching this show in 2017. I started about 2 years ago, and I'm talking about it because I still loved it this year. I still loved the seasons that came on this year. So yeah, if you haven't seen this show, it's basically about a aspiring writer called Jane who gets artificially inseminated by this man that she has a thing for. His sister actually inseminates her, but it's his sperm. Basically, the story kind of follows her and her journey with having the child and a little love triangle, which can only be described by me as a Damon, Elena, Stefan love triangle, because honestly it's just like she hops back and forward between both guys. It is a really good show. It is based on a telenovela, so it is very dramatic and things can be really predictable, but even so I got my mum into it and she doesn't like TV shows and she liked it. So Jane the Virgin isn't actually a virgin. The next show I loved is also on the CW and it is Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I'm a crazy ex-girlfriend. I'm a bit of a psycho, so I did love this show. It's basically about a mentally ill girl called Rebecca who meets her ex-boyfriend of like, what, when she was 16 in New York, where she's working as a lawyer. She's a really successful lawyer actually, and you know, she's earning a lot of money, but she is mega depressed. Bumps into Josh and makes this quick decision to move to Los Angeles, which is where he lives. So it becomes quite a bit of a stalker story, but it's not actually as creepy as it sounds. Look at me condoning stalkers, wow. The story kind of follows her trying to win back Josh, even though he kind of had a fiance at the time, and it has musical elements. It is a very musical theatre based show, so there's like, they break out into song a lot, and I just love that because I am a musical theatre freak. I just find this show really funny and I love the friendship between Paula and Rebecca, and I am one of those people that doesn't really like Josh, and I know that's a big thing on Tumblr right now, but I just don't like it. The next thing on this list will come as no surprise to everyone, but also surprise because of how much I've said I didn't like the ending, but I'm putting it on here because the show's been a part of my life through like literally my darkest times. If you've watched my high school experience video, I talked about Pretty Little Liars in it being my kind of safety blanket, the thing that I looked forward to in a week. So ever since year 9 till now, I've had Pretty Little Liars in my life, and unfortunately it ended in June, and that was a really sad time for me because I kind of felt like I grew with the cast and with the story, because obviously I was about 13 when I started watching it and ended at 18 years old. 17 actually. Ended in June. Yeah, 17, but I'm 18 now. And I'm not even going to explain Pretty Little Liars because everybody knows what Pretty Little Liars is. Everyone's boyfriend hates their girlfriend for watching Pretty Little Liars because I guarantee your girlfriend watches it. It's just a really good show. Writing can be a bit poor. I mean, as we all know, I predicted the CC transgender reveal and I also predicted Spencer having a twin. The only part I didn't get right was the name, and I get really angry when I'm right about theories in shows because it just means it's so predictable, but I don't know. I love that show. Didn't like how it ended, really disappointed in how it ended, but I mean, we can't have everything in life, can we? Next show on this list is something I was really reluctant to watch because I don't give in to hypes. If something has a hype, I know I'm going to be disappointed because that's just how it has been with things, but luckily I wasn't disappointed by that, and that is Stranger Things. My sons! I cannot watch that without like feeling this motherly pride because they're my sons. and Eleven's my baby. Such a talented, cute cast, man. I just love Stranger Things. If you've been living under a rock and don't know what Stranger Things is, or just haven't been bothered to watch it, it's, how I could describe it is basically a bunch of unpopular kids befriend kind of a child experiment kid to help them find their missing loser friend. And strange things happen. Strange. The next show I'm going to talk about is also I think it's a CW to Netflix original, and that is Riverdale. I really hate season 2 of Riverdale. I just can't bring myself to watch the rest. It's really tiring me out now. But I really love the first season, and it's basically kind of like Pretty Little Liars. I would describe it kind of Pretty Little Liars genre, but it's not really the same thing. It's basically about someone called Jason who gets killed, and everyone's trying to piece together who did it, and it's like a teenage angst kind of thing. Like there's love stuff and gays and high school drama, and it's just one of those shows. This is a good one. This show has the best representation, and I'm really sad that it doesn't get as much recognition as it deserves in the UK, but it's kind of big in the US. And that is The Fosters, which is a family drama about the most beautiful family ever. Literally, the representation in this is high because it's about a white lesbian, a Hispanic, bisexual, they're married, and then they have Latina kids, and they also have white adopted kids, so there's like some good diversity. And basically it follows the story of Callie and Jude, who are in the foster system, and it really kind of brutally talks about what it's like to be a foster kid. There's a lot about rape culture and black culture and all of that police brutality shit, all that equality stuff that I'm into. So this show really feeds into my kind of equalitist, diverse personality. The next one is How to Get Away with Murder. I actually started watching this whilst watching other favourites, which is Orphan Black. But I kind of stopped watching Orphan Black because it got a little bit boring to me, and I moved on to How to Get Away with Murder, which follows the lives of law students who end up working for their tutor, who's actually a solicitor or a defense attorney, and they get to kind of take on her cases and stuff. Turn off now if you've not watched it, but really pissed when Wes died, okay? I was only watching it because Wes was like the puppy, the like best character there, and he died, and it was just so sad. And yeah, and then I stopped How to Get Away with Murder. Learned how to murder the producer. I'm going to talk about Orphan Black now because I mentioned it, but I actually didn't put it on my list. But Orphan Black's really good, and it kind of talks about human cloning. If you're into science and all that, you'd probably really like this show. So there's this kind of evil scientist or whatever that's created these clones. They find each other, one of them commits suicide, and kind of like we try and find out why she did it, and it's just really fucked up. It's got a lot to do with science, so if you like science, then watch this show. Another show I loved this year, which I actually haven't finished watching, is Grey's Anatomy. I know I'm like years late, but one of my friends said that I should watch it, and I tried it out, and I fell in love with it. It's a really good show. It's just basically your average hospital drama with love triangles and whatnot. It kind of made me want to be a surgical student, but I gotta stop changing my career perspectives. This is gonna be on literally everyone's favourite show list, but Rick and Morty. This bitch got me into it, that bitch being Tom. It's basically a adult cartoon. If you're into like Bob's Burgers, Family Guy, American Dad, etc., then you probably like Rick and Morty. The only way I can really explain it is it's like about some mad scientist grandpa that takes his anxiety-ridden grandchild on loads of adventures and saves the world with science. That is the only way I can explain it. A lot of adult humour. I think it's kind of mildly racist at times, but it's a good show. We got Bob's Burgers. Everyone knows I love this show. Don't really need to go too much into it, but this year I fell in love with it. I love watching it. I've binge watched pretty much the whole thing like 3 times, and I just love it. Another one that I've only just recently watched is Big Mouth, because it's kind of only recently came out, but it's a Netflix original adult cartoon, basically about these kids who are like growing up and going through puberty, and they're being taught the kind of life stages of puberty by the hormone monster and the hormone monstress. It's just really weird and fucked up, so it's definitely my thing. And the final 2, we're down to the final 2. First one being Gilmore Girls. Again, so I used to watch Gilmore Girls when I was younger. It's essentially about a really sweet mother-daughter relationship. The girl's kind of like a child prodigy, and she's going to an elite private school because, you know, her GPA is really high, and it kind of follows her life at the private school. Then we get to see her go to university, which was between Harvard and Yale, and she goes to Yale. Everybody's seen Gilmore Girls, and the revival came out this year, and didn't really like it. Logan and Rory are just not my thing, and but I loved the actual series, so I guess that's good. The last show I want to talk about is the weirdest one on this list, ironically, and that is Say Yes to the Dress. So I watched this with my family. I know, me doing family is weird, but I watched this show with my family, and it's just basically what it sounds like. A bunch of snobby American, there is a UK one as well, but like rich people go in to try on their wedding dress, and they have to say no to the dress or yes to the dress, and I guess I just watch it because I want to get married one day and get to see loads of beautiful wedding dresses, and I just like it. So that was my list of my favourite shows for 2017. I hope to do another one of these next year. Maybe some of my shows would have changed, maybe I'll have new ones, who knows. The year hasn't started yet, so yeah. I just want to wish you all a very happy new year. I hope you all go into 2018 feeling positive and happy for the upcoming few months. I hope nothing bad happens to any of you or whatever, but